Alright, it is August 20th, 2026. My last recording was on August 4th. It has been such an interesting journey already. I started this particular journey on July 6th. It's now August 20th. And it's amazing how much has kind of changed within my thinking. Not really so much externally, but within my thinking. And I don't know, it's like when I started this journey, my goal and my point of starting this journey was like specifically that in 6 months I would be a multi-millionaire. And my focus was, on having a lot of material things, having a really big, huge mansion. Well, not mansion, but like pretty much a mansion. Like a really big, expensive, nice home. A massive amount of land, which I kind of do still want that. But, money. Millions and millions and millions of dollars. Things. And what I have kind of realized along this month and a half journey, I don't know why my throat is so itchy right now. Itchy. Sorry. Is that I really don't want a lot of material things, and I really don't want to have millions and millions and millions of dollars sitting in my bank account. Because what I have come to realize is that when I am making a lot of money, like on these nursing jobs, which is where I've pretty much made the most amount of money in life, I might make $12,000 a month, something like that, if I'm working like a really good job. Otherwise, maybe take home $8,000. It's a lot of money doing travel contract nursing, especially relative to a lot of non degree jobs where you're lucky. You're literally lucky if you can find a $20 an hour job. That's like, wow, good job finding that, And it's shit. It's a garbage job, and it's probably a ton of labor, a ton of hard work. Whereas the nursing, it's like, it's really fairly low labor compared to a lot of those type of jobs. And it's more so thinking, especially depending on the type of nursing that you're doing. But the point is, like, it's yes, of course it's a hard job. I'm not trying to say it's easy. It's not. But it's not requiring as much, like, physical strain as, say, like somebody who all day is doing construction, all day is doing yard work, all day is doing like physical labor type of jobs, lifting 50-pound bags for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day, that sort of thing. And I got compensated very well in as far as what the average person makes. Of course there's plenty of jobs that pay a whole bunch more, but still, for one person around my age, it's doing pretty well. It's doing pretty well. And I was able to pay for, a lot of things. Even living a more expensive, not really lifestyle, but like just the dog business. I throw a lot of money at that. So, and that was my drive through all of it. My drive was the dogs. Otherwise, I think that if I did not have the dog business to financially support, I would have actually stopped doing nursing probably in probably 2023. Probably around there. But because I knew I have all of these expenses, and certainly it did provide for that, that's why I did the nursing. But my point in all of this is to say that with all of that money that I had coming in, whenever I would have that comfortable amount of money coming in month to month, and I could eat out for, eat fast food every day, which sounds as bad as it is, but definitely what I did. Not right now, mostly because money's not coming in like that right now. But that's actually not a bad thing at all, especially if I'm not eating fast food, although I haven't lost any weight yet, but that's coming. I would act, it would change the way I think, where it's like, okay, I'm providing for myself, I am comfortable, all of my bills are paid, I can go out to eat, I can buy what I want for the most part, and pay everything I need to pay, even if it's a little bit extravagant, again, for the average person. And I would totally forget and be blind to how freaking blessed I actually am. And then, which is so crazy, because that's like when I should be realizing it the most, is when I'm bringing in, $12,000 a month on my own, and I should be so like, oh my god, I am so blessed, I should have been in a constant state of gratitude. No, normally I was like stressed out, or like, okay, it's working for right now, but always trying to just hold, all I can say is like hold things together. I'm going to try and hold financially the structure of my life together while I can, knowing that the way that I make money is not sustainable because of my feelings towards it, the fact that I don't want to be doing it, period. But in my mind, I'm saying, well, it's temporary. I'll do this one because it's temporary. I'll do this one. I'll do the next one. I'll do the next one. And each of them is temporary. It's like, okay, well, eventually you're going to stop fucking doing them. You're going to say, okay, I've done it. It's temporary. It's done. Temporary's over. The temporary has completed. Right? And that's where July 26th of this year come in. Ironically, not even my choice, which is kind of interesting too, but perfect, amazing, really grateful for that, because I needed to either quit myself or have somebody make me quit, and that's exactly what happened. But my point is, and guys, listen, I don't know, alright, whatever, I'm not gonna go there right now, but then, now, I lose my job, I lose my income, I have a fraction of the amount of money to work with that I've had with that income. And now I see how blessed I am. Right now I'm sitting on my bed. I have a king-size bed in the home that I have owned since 2015. On a 10-acre property that's all mine. I mean, of course, humans don't own any land on this earth. Regardless, no government, no human, none of that bullshit, none of that illusion. Like, I'm so grateful to have a small little sliver of this beautiful planet to live on and to be cared for by and to feel safe on. and to have to myself, but it's not mine. I'm just borrowing it for the however many years I'm here. Whenever I move or die or whatever it is, but it's not mine. Nobody owns jack shit in this life. Nobody owns jack shit in this life. We don't even own our own bodies. We are in them for 80 years, maybe 5 years, maybe 105 years. We don't know, but we don't own them. We are borrowing them. Our consciousness is taking a ride in this vessel. And that's how we're exploring this experience through it. But it's like, now I look outside and I see the maple tree and I see the property and I see the house. And I'm like, I'm watching YouTube Premium on my big smart TV. Like, I am living the fucking dream. I've got all these beautiful dogs, beautiful cats. And I love critters. I mean, I've got a vehicle, a nice Nissan vehicle. I've got, my August, for the most part, my August bills are all paid. I've got all these dogs in Europe. What? It's just, and literally, that is, it's like, it takes having the security, having the self-provision illusion. I would call it myself. Taken away. That then you can see, oh my God, I've been so blessed, so abundant, so provided for my entire life. Right now. Always. And so it's like, I know that I will always be provided for. I will always be abundant. Will that always look like exactly what I want it to look like? No. That's generally no. Not until I think, well, no, because really, it's not until you get to the point where I would say you let go, which is where I'm at now. It's what I'm working on now. Let go of expectation of the outcome. Let go of the expectation of what is to come. What it's going to look like. That's wonderful, to have a dream and to have things that you want to work towards, goals and whatever, do that. I'm not saying don't have dreams, don't have goals, don't work towards things. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying work towards them without the expectation of, if it doesn't work out this way, it's a failure. If it doesn't go exactly like I want it to go, then that's devastating and that's negative. Because that's not true. It's like, watch and see work towards them and then see what comes. And if what comes doesn't align with what you wanted, think more into that. Look more into that. Be like, well, is it because maybe what I wanted wasn't actually aligned with my highest path? Or was it a choice, that you made that maybe blocked what you wanted from coming? Or whatever it might be, but being okay with, being at peace with whatever comes. And realizing, even if it's not what I wanted, I'm going to see it for what it is and move forward peacefully, joyfully, with gratitude, and not try and force your own vision if that's not what's sticking, if that's not what's manifesting. So that's very abstract how I'm saying that. For an example, my dog kennel, because that's kind of what I'm talking about in my life. My dog kennel, my dog business, the stuff I've mentioned in other videos about how this has been my big dream and what I've been investing in for years. I still don't know how this is going to go. I have no clue, because it's August 20th and I still haven't found another source of income, another job. I did actually sell one of my puppies, which kind of helped. Oh. And that was actually my plan anyway, to do that. It's something I had been thinking about. So that was helpful. But otherwise, I haven't had any, like, job or steady income since I lost my job July 26th. So it's still a toss-up how things are going to go with the kennel and with the dogs in Europe coming here to have litters. And it's like, I am trying to focus on doing what I can to make that happen, make the winter breeding plans and all the plans that I have had and my trainer and I have had for like years now happen. However, if it doesn't happen, if it doesn't look the way I want it to look, if, you know, I have to sell a dog or I have to sell multiple dogs, which, let me tell you, I do not want that to happen. I am going to do anything that I can to prevent that from happening, but not if it, not if it is in contradiction with my highest path and my, you know, aligning with what I know to be right for me and for my life and my heart, my soul, like, that inner intuitive feeling of like, I should be at this job, or I really have no business doing this job, or I hate this job and it sucks the life out of me, whatever. Like, I'm not gonna go take a shit job, a shit lifestyle, a shit situation for me just so that I can try to force the outcome of my dog business. If I can't find an income that aligns with my truth, and that requires me then to start selling dogs or whatever, something related to my dog business, then that's what I'm going to have to do. Again, that's not what I want. But my point in saying this out loud is to say, it would be better for me to lose everything than to continue on choosing things that don't serve me to try and hold together a life that was never meant for me. Because if it falls apart without me trying to force it together, it was never meant to stand. If it falls apart because I can't force it to work, if it requires me forcing it to work, then it needs to not be in my life. Because if it's supposed to be in my life, it's not going to require me to suffer and force in a way that is just really not aligned with who I am. I'm not saying like, oh, I'll never have to work hard for anything. Oh, I'll never really have to even lift a pinky. I'll never have to put in any real work ever. I'm not saying that. Like, I think that when it's something that you really want and it's going to be something really significant, yeah, it's gonna take a lot of hours and a lot of energy, a lot of focus. Like, you're building something significant. Nothing significant is built without that. But that doesn't mean that it has to fucking suck. Like, it could be, there's plenty of people out there that are working pretty much 24/7, except for maybe 6 to 8 hours when they sleep. And they're drained and they're exhausted and like bone tired, but at the same time, they're fulfilled inside. They feel good at their heart and soul because they know that they are building something meaningful and significant. And even though it's difficult right now, it's hard, it's a lot of work, like, it's going to pay off. It will. This is a part of that process. So I'm not saying, like, unless it comes to me without any forcing effort and it's just, given to me, I'm not going to be, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying I'm not going to betray myself anymore. Simply put, that's what I'm saying. I'm no longer going to betray myself, my truth, what I know to be correct for me. Because if I'm betraying myself, then I'm not, then it's wrong. Quite frankly, it's wrong. Like, whatever I'm doing is not meant for me. Period. Otherwise, I would not be betraying myself. If it's meant for me, it will not require any self-betrayal on any level at all. For sure. So, that's my point. Is it, like, terrifying? Yeah, it is. It is. Because every single day, especially as the days progress, without me having income, with the weeks flowing by, I'm on week like 4 now that I haven't been working. I haven't been getting an income. So basically, I'm already a month into not having a job, not having an income. And, like, it's not like I've got a partner who's like, well, I got you, I'm working. And it's not like I can just get money from somebody else. My parents have been amazingly supportive financially and in every single way previously, but no. Like, one, obviously, that's fucked. Like, I'm an adult woman. That's fucked. Adults should not be using their parents' money. Period. Unless their parents are like, we just want to give you money. We want to give you money. Great. That's cool. But it shouldn't be like oh God, I fucked up, Mom. I fucked up, Dad. Like, send me some money. Like, no, you're not 13, sweetheart. You're 35. Figure it the fuck out yourself. So, not taking handouts. So it's like, okay, right now I don't really have any foreseeable income at the moment. But, like, I'm looking on job boards. So far I haven't really found anything, but at this point I'm probably just gonna start taking some jobs. Like, even if it's fucking Pizza Hut, Taco Bell. Taco Bell is hilarious because it makes me think of my first job as a nurse. I worked in the CVICU at UK in Kentucky. And I remember our boss would always say, hey, listen, if nursing doesn't work out, no problem. Taco Bell's always hiring. So that just makes me laugh because it's like, oh, well, fuck. 12 years later, here I am like, all right, Taco Bell, let's go. But I don't feel like I've failed. I feel like I would fail if I kept going back to nursing. So right now it's like, and I've been doing a ton of inner work during this month and a half. Like, I have been journaling, meditating that's a stretch. I'm not good at meditating, but really thinking deeply and introspectively, examining and trying to make the unconscious conscious. Doing, shining light anywhere and everywhere, and hopefully everywhere, within me, to see, okay, what needs to still be healed, what needs to be released, what limiting old beliefs and fears are still running in the background under the radar, that sort of thing. And I mean, that's a lifelong journey, I feel like. I don't think you ever really get to the point where you don't have to actively participate consciously in that every day, all the time. Like now. Because that's the thing too. It's like now. There is only now. So you just have to be conscious now. But that's always. That's now is always. Right? Like there's only now. There's now right now when I'm making this video, and there's now when you're watching it, but that's still now. So it's like, just be conscious now. But that means be conscious always. And I'm not even sure like why I'm jumping on that, but it's been really good this month and a half as far as inner work goes. And I can definitely say that in my life, it's been a lot of, like, there will be times where I'll have these intense, like, month, 2 months, maybe 3 months of just hardcore introspection, inner work, trying to make these unconscious things conscious and trying to really know myself completely, that sort of thing. But then it'll be like, I'll get, historically, I'll get a job as a nurse or something. And then I'll just kind of get into the rhythm of daily going to work, sleeping, going to work, sleeping, going to work. And like you become kind of robotic and fall out of that intense inner work period, not forgetting it, not it being undone. It still applies, but it's like a peak, and then it's chill for a little while, and then it's another peak, another month of intense spiritual work, and then like a month or 2 or 3 of just letting it settle, letting it integrate, and then another peak. And it's like, I really do think that that's kind of how life works. I think that source, higher self, spirit guides, angels, beyond the veil, whatever you want to say, the part of us that is outside of this experience kind of is like giving us knowledge, wisdom, remembrance in these like little phases, oh, here you go, here's some. Now let that sink in. Okay, here's some more. We'll give you a little bit more. Let it sink in. Okay, here's some more. And it's like that. It just continues and continues that way until I think you just live in it. You just live it. You just become it fully, and you stop, like, it just becomes like this all the time, where you're just very stable and steady. You're just there. You're just there all the time. And people like that, the person I think of immediately is the, oh God, what's his name? I don't want to butcher his name, actually. He's, I don't know. I don't want to be disrespectful. But he's from an Asian country, okay? And he's like a master of Shaolin. You guys maybe have heard of him. Like, he's on YouTube a lot. But he's somebody who you can tell. Another one, Sadhguru. He lives there. Like, there are these people who have really mastered themselves, especially their minds, their consciousness, right? Like, not that they're perfect, not that they are like Jesus or Buddha. I don't think, I mean, I wouldn't think so. I don't know. I mean, maybe they're as advanced. I don't know. But, those are the type of people I'm talking about who, they just live in that state. And I don't think that you have to be like them necessarily. I don't know. See, that's where it gets... I don't think so, though. I don't think that you have to be like basically a monk or, you know, some spiritual figure like they are looked at as, to be fully aware of who you are, knowing yourself, doing all of that type of stuff. But then I think, like, I don't know, maybe you do have to eventually get to that point, because ultimately I think when you really, really, really... I'm still on this journey, so I don't have the answer. I'm thinking, like, do you have to get to the point where you really don't have any possessions? You may have a few pieces of clothing, some like cloaks and shit that you wear that looks simple, you know, but like spiritual clothing that you see. Because that's kind of the stuff that I see them wearing. But like, maybe they just have a really simple, cheap home that is already paid off. It's incredibly minimalist, but the point is, like, that they're really attached to nothing, and that they're really giving everything that they can give to the world and not hoarding anything for themselves, that sort of thing. But at the same time, I think, well, really, I feel like someone who is on Earth, who is really mastering this Earth experience as a human, like, they would be able to live very seamlessly and like in flow with life, while still doing what they love, still doing, you know, having a nice house, having some nice things that they just enjoy, physical things. I feel like that's actually, for me, that's what I see as like really mastering this physical experience. Is like, yes, you do enjoy what this world, what this experience has to offer. This is Raven. Or not Raven, Athena. I've got cats, alright? I've got cats. Sometimes I get them mixed up. But anyway. If you're really, like, mastering this experience, in my opinion, at this stage, what I think that would look like is, you live a good life. You live the life that you want to live, whatever that looks like. However, you're also extremely giving. You're also focused on serving others, focused on serving the collective, focused on helping whoever you can help when you can help them. But at the same time, like, you love yourself. You treat yourself. You care for yourself. You give yourself the things that you want within reason and, you know, within moderation and within reason, right? I'm not, whatever. Do you see what I'm saying here? But it's not like I have to go live on a mountain and meditate my entire life to be, you know, fully transcended and fully spiritual and mastering this life. I don't think that. I think it's like you're in that flow state. Basically, you're in a flow state. And it's like you're co-creating. I guess that's what it is that because I feel like we come here to create. That's a big part of why we're here, is to create. So, whatever it is you want to create, you should do that. And if, hopefully, that creation, like, brings you abundance, great. Wonderful. I sometimes I really get off on some tangents, and I'm like, how did I get there and why? But yeah, you gotta bear with me on that. But the point is, like, I no longer want those millions of dollars. I would like to have millions of dollars flowing through me, flowing through my life, but it's like once I receive money, I just let it flow. It comes to me and then it flows into the world. It comes to me and then I give it back. I inhale, receive it, and I exhale, I give it. I inhale, I receive more, and I give it. You know, like that. Not like I inhale and I hold it and I save up millions. That holds no appeal to me, and I don't know why I guess, yeah, I mean, like, that just goes to show that I really that was a pretty big milestone, I think, for me, is realizing that's not what I want. That's not my goal. I don't want a bunch of freaking paper stacked up somewhere. What? That's not for me. Not for me. But I do think it would be great, and I do think that money is an important tool for this experience. And I think it would be great to have millions of dollars flowing through me, but not like blocked here, not staying here, like an active energetic flow. And that's really how I've been looking at it, as like energy. Money is energy, everything's energy. So, like, attract and pull in, and that's why I'm trying to attract it, be a magnet, like, frequentially, vibrationally, law of attraction, being aligned with that state of abundance, that frequency of abundance. A month and a half in, I've certainly seen tastes and flickers of it already. Wonderful. To me, that is some evidence for sure that, like, I'm heard, I'm seen. There's some little tiny confirmations, but more is coming. But hang in there, you know, because it almost feels like the universe really wants me to prove that I can hang on beyond the point where I would typically fold, where the pressure would build so much that I would collapse. It's like it's trying to, it's like testing, you know, testing how real I am. It's like, okay, cool, you've done all this inner work, you've done all this spiritual practice, you've done all this introspection, you've done great. Let's put some pressure on it. Let's see what happens when you're not in that safe place of comfort, of having. When things start to get very questionable. That's pressure. Let's see what you do then. And it's like, because then I could, like I said in my last video, I could fold like I have always done in the past. I can fold and I can say, well, shit, I gotta go get a nursing job or everything's gonna collapse. I'm fucking terrified. I've got to control this. You know, I can do that. Or I can say, uh-oh, things are starting to starting to look like they're really unraveling here. Let's see where this goes. Like, again, not to say I'm not willing to work, but I'm not willing to do that work that is not aligned at all with my soul. So probably I'm going to go get some silly little jobs. Some Taco Bell type of jobs. Which, look, no disrespect to people who are working at Taco Bell. Like, I mean, thank you, because we gotta get our Taco Bell right, but I mean, it's not really what anybody aspires to, I think, when they're like, oh, when you're 5 years old, what do you want to be? Oh, I want to be a manager at Taco Bell. That sort of thing. It's just not really what you aspire to as like, your ultimate goal in life. But it's an honest job. It's, it's great, right? I'm just saying it's gonna be a big change for me in every single fucking way you can imagine. But, and I'm not saying I'm going to Taco Bell. I'm just mostly using Taco Bell because of that boss that I had and how he would always use that as a joke. So yeah, pressure is building. Pressure has been building over the weeks, more so in this last week, but again, it's directly related to income as time moves forward and not having it. But I'm not folding. Have I had a billion times like these thoughts of doubt and like, wait a minute, am I fucking this all up? Am I an idiot? Like, wait, am I crazy? Am I sitting here talking a bunch of bullshit and like I'm actually ruining my life? These are thoughts that I'm having, like second guessing. But second guessing if what I'm actually saying is true and correct and going to actually happen. Or if I'm just full of shit watching YouTube videos and stuff that are just nonsense, But I do. And as time goes on, those types of voices and thoughts seem like they almost hold more weight. And I think that's because they look like they could be reflected in what I'm seeing in reality. Like, oh God, I still don't have an income. Like, I still have all these bills to come, all these bills and all these expenses and things that I owe piling up, like, so that's why those voices sound more reasonable. Like, they sound responsible, they sound intelligent, they sound safe. But I've seen so many things saying like, be careful, because that's going to happen, and that's a trap. Basically, that's your old programming, that's your old fear, that's your old matrix mentality of grab the reins, try and get control again, try and hold it together. It's falling apart, oh my God, it's falling apart, hold it together. And I'm saying, nope, it's falling into place. Whatever happens, happens. I'm willing to do whatever I need to do to make my dreams happen. But if that's not enough and they don't happen, then they weren't supposed to. And if it turns out that I'm a fucking idiot and I ruined my whole life for just a delusion, well, that's something I'll have to live with, I suppose. But all I can say is I don't want to continue going down the road that I have been going down for years and years and years and years and years and years. And the only way to not continue to go down that road is, guess what? To choose differently. So that's what I'm doing. So, even though I guess things things have changed in the sense that, like, I no longer want specifically millions of dollars sitting in my account and a fancy house and this and that. But nothing has changed in the sense that I want to be fully aligned with my highest timeline, with my highest self, being 100% authentic, 100% me, 100% true to myself, not betraying myself. Still tending to all of my responsibilities, still tending to all of the 3D things that we have to do, paying bills and taking out the trash and all these things that we do, but not trying to force the outcome, not trying to force my way, not trying to force, but rather just being grateful, moving towards what I want in a way, controlling what I can control, and moving towards it in a way that, you know, I'm doing what I can to make it work, and if it doesn't work, well, then it wasn't meant to work, you know, or maybe it's that I screwed up and I did something that I could have done differently, better. Then it's just a learning lesson. You know, there's so much discretion that you have to have. There's so much where you have to recognize things for what they are, and they can kind of be deceiving, you know. But I'm gonna grab my little journal and read a few things to you guys that I've written over these past couple weeks, that have been pretty meaningful in this journey. Maybe it will be helpful. Let me grab that real quick. All right. Okay, this one I wrote on 8/7/26, and I actually have it on my refrigerator so I can look at it every day. It says, wake up every day and be grateful for another day in the movie to enjoy an experience. Be grateful for having this beautiful home and land to live on and enjoy and be sheltered by for another day today. Be thankful for the little blessings today holds. Getting to look out the window and see the beautiful maple tree in the front yard. Hearing the pups chew on their toys and bones. The air conditioner running. The TV playing YouTube Premium. The bed you slept on soundly. Be present in the moment. Try more and more to be present in every moment. This means not letting unconscious thoughts, feelings, programming take your attention and focus. You are the observer. See your thoughts rise and fall. Do not attach to either. Feel the emotion come up. Do not attach to it. Listen, let go, continue observing, stay present. It's about the ride, the experience, the now. Not the outcome, not the success, but rather every moment of now leading up to it. Lived presently, fully, joyfully, with gratitude and awe. It's not about winning. It's about being able to run in the race. Do what makes you happy. Smile, laugh in every moment. Be like Chicken Joe. And I don't know if you guys know Chicken Joe, but he's something of a legend. Surf's Up. Check him out. And let's see. Then I've got this one. It says, this is another one I've taped to my refrigerator. Start focusing on what is in your control. Start creating a story of who you are in the future and start believing that story. Stop consuming so much content. Start creating your own craft. Stop replaying old stories from your past. That keeps it alive. Ignore it and focus on create your new future. Problems redirect us to solutions. Focus on solutions, problems disappear. You never change things by fighting reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the old model obsolete. Alright, let's keep going. I'm just looking through these here. This was kind of interesting. I did a, it was supposed to be a 7-day period where I did 24-hour fasts of certain things in my life, certain comforts, for 24 hours and 7 days. So it's like the first day, it was food. No food for 24 hours. The second day, it was sugary drinks. Nothing but water, right? For 24 hours. The next day, it was excess sleep. Only 6 hours maximum. You know, and then 24 hours just on that 6 hours. And then it was phone / social media. 24 hours, no social media. So fasting for 7 days. And you know what? I didn't do well with that. I did not do well with that at all. I actually failed most of them. Shi Heng Yi is the guy's name. And that's probably totally butchered. But that's the master I was talking about, the Shaolin, that guy. He's like, yeah, he gets it. That guy really gets it. Yeah, that might be kind of the highlights. It's not like I specifically am trying to write every day. It's just I kind of write things as they come to me. But yeah, those are probably the most like meaningful collectively. The rest is more so just me making daily notes about that day, but it's more personal. It's not, I don't know that it would be that helpful for me to talk about it on here. As far as my reality goes, well, obviously I haven't lost weight. Now that's another thing too, is like I do want to eat healthier, and no, I mean that's why I bring up weight, right? Because if you're eating healthier, if you're overweight because of your diet and you start eating healthier, you're going to lose weight. And I haven't lost weight. So clearly I haven't been eating healthier. No, I haven't. For the most part, compared to before when I was eating out once or twice every freaking day, sometimes 3 times a day, which is insane. Like now I pretty much only eat in, but I'm eating like frozen fried chicken instead of paid for fried chicken from Lee's. It's now just from my freezer. So I still haven't gotten on my kick of eating vegetables and healthy shit and drinking water. I'm still drinking I'll buy a gallon of sweet tea. Yeah, sugary drinks, right? Not good. Not what I want. But still what I'm choosing and doing. Haven't given that up yet. Which is a problem. I mean, because that's an addiction. That's me allowing my body to master me instead of me mastering my body. And I realize that. That is. Otherwise, I could say, no, I'm going to eat some fucking vegetables. I'm going to have salad and I'm going to eat, healthy shit. But no, that's not what I do. I buy fried, frozen fried chicken. And I heat that up. I have it with some frozen fries that I heat up. Oh my god, it's so unhealthy. But, and then I have a Dr. Pepper with it. And some ranch, So I realize that is just not not me mastering my body, but yeah, so that's one thing I'm still definitely working on, for sure. But it's, you know, it's a process. It's a process. The whole life is a process, really. But that's where I'm at. We're almost to an hour. I haven't recorded, you know, since the 4th, so quite a bit to catch up on. And yeah, I'm sure there's a lot more that I probably should have included in the documentation, like as in real time, but I am just terrible at these freaking videos. I'm really bad at keeping up with the videos. So, I'll see you next time with the next update. Should be interesting. Stay tuned.